Good morning, students. Hope you all are fine at home in this pandemic with good health and making the best of the preparations for your examination. I think in the last class we were discussing the concept voter, and we have discussed so many things about the lesson, about Marcus eBay, about Roof, who is the centralized character in the lesson, and we have come across how Roof joins the party of Marcus eBay as a supporter and how he campaigns for him, how Marcus eBay, being a normal school teacher, a missionary school teacher, how he gets transformed into a politician, then a minister in the outgoing government, and about his life. We have seen that the opposition party leader approaches Roof and he bribes him with some money, that's £5, and he is in a dilemma whether to accept the money or no, and finally the deal is done and Roof accepts the £5 currency from the opposition campaigning team leader, and he takes promise on the E that he will cast his vote in favor of Madhuka, who is the opposition candidate. And so the day of election comes, and on the election morning, everywhere there are banners, and these banners are speaking out about the candidates. The torn posters, the weather-beaten posters, they are trying to convey the message as far as possible to the people regarding their voting. Vote for PAP, vote for POP, vote for People's Alliance Party, which belongs to Marcus eBay, and vote for POP, Progressive Organization Party, and the candidate of the party is Madhuka. And now, on the day of election, Marcus eBay is sitting in the owner's corner, preferably a place which is fixed for the candidate. He is sitting in his enormous green car, waving the hands at the people and giving a smile. Well, the people holding the ballot papers in their hands, dancing all the way, they approach Marcus eBay and they greet him in advance, congrats. So they have already decided that Marcus eBay is going to win the election. So it is a prediction by the people. They have the confidence that Marcus eBay will win. So with that great confidence, they greet Marcus eBay as congrats. I think in the last class, we got finished till here. Now, further. Roof and other organizers were prancing up and down, giving last-minute advice to the voters and pouring with sweat. So now, by the time Marcus eBay So now, Roof and other organizers were prancing up and down, giving last minute advice to the voters and pouring with sweat. That goes to show, in the elections, not only campaigning just before the elections, it's important how you advise and what you advise to the voters at the last minute. So Roof and his supporters, his assistants, who were working in support of Marcus Ebe, they were prancing up and down. They were moving around, trying to convince the voters to vote in favor of Marcus Ebe. And in doing so, they were pouring with sweat. ಸಾಮಾನ್ಯವಾಗಿ ಆ ಚುನಾವಣೆಯ ಕೊನೆಯ ಕ್ಷಣದಲ್ಲಿ ಮತದಾರರನ್ನು ಓಲೈಸುವಂತಹ ಕೆಲಸವನ್ನು ಅವರು ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಿದ್ದರಿಂದ ಅವರ ಮೈಯೆಲ್ಲ ಬೆವೆತು ಹೋಗಿತ್ತು. ಅಂತಂದರೆ ಅಷ್ಟು ಕಷ್ಟಪಟ್ಟು ಜನರನ್ನು ಸೆಳೆಯುವಂಥ, ತಮ್ಮ ಪಕ್ಷಕ್ಕೆ ಮತ ಹಾಕುವಂತೆ ಸೆಳೆಯುವಂಥ ಒಂದು ಪ್ರಯತ್ನವನ್ನು ಅವರು ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ರು. Do not forget, he said again to a group of literate women who seemed ready to burst with enthusiasm and good humor, our sign is the motor cars. So now, Roof wanted to convey the message to the voters, to a group of women, that the party's sign is a motor car. So usually there will be symbols given to every candidate during the election. So now Roof is trying to make the women understand that the party's sign is motor car. They are supposed to cast their vote in favor of PAP, and the sign of PAP party is the motor car. Like the Marcus is sitting inside. So now, one of the lady, she knows what is a motor car, because this election was taking place in the olden times, and it was rare a car could be seen in the village. So no village woman has often seen a car. They haven't come across a car in their life. But this lady, who says that like the one in which Marcus is sitting, so the lady knows what is a motor car, and she says, showing Marcus, who is sitting in his enormous green car, like the one Marcus is sitting inside. That goes to show the woman can identify a car, she can recognize, she can make out what is a car. Thank you, mother, said Roof. Now why Roof thanked her? Because she could identify, she could recognize the symbol of their party. Said Roof, it is the same car. The box with the car shown on its body is the box for you. So now, as you all know that nowadays election is being held with the help of EVM, electronic voting machine. But earlier there were supposed to be boxes, each box representing a party. May say like, if this is for PAP, this is for POP, and the box which is consisting the sign on it of a motor car, definitely this belongs to PAP. And Roof is trying to convince the people that you are supposed to cast your vote in favor of PAP, which is holding the sign of a motor car. The box with the car shown on its body is the box for you. Don't look at the other with the man's head. So he also warned, don't look at the other box which is having the sign of a man's head. Now why he said so? Because it belonged to POP, Progressive Organization Party candidate. It is for those whose heads are not correct. So this box belongs to those people whose heads are not correct. That goes to show the people who are mad, they should have their interest towards this box, and the intelligent people, they have to cast their vote towards this car. They have to concentrate towards this sign, and they should nowhere be in concern with this box. Similarly, I would like to give you an example. ಉಪೇಂದ್ರನ ಸಿನಿಮಾನ ನೋಡಿರ್ತೀರಿ ನೀವೆಲ್ಲ. ಹಳ್ಳಿಯ ಜನ ಸಾಮಾನ್ಯವಾಗಿ ಪ್ರತಿಯೊಬ್ಬರು ಆ ಸಿನಿಮಾವನ್ನು ನೋಡಿರ್ತಾರೆ. ಯಾಕೆ ನೋಡಿರ್ತಾರೆ? ಯಾಕಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಉಪೇಂದ್ರನ ಸಿನಿಮಾದಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದು ಪಂಚ್ ಲೈನ್ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿರ್ತಾನೆ ಅವನು, ಬುದ್ಧಿವಂತರಿಗೆ ಮಾತ್ರ. ಹಳ್ಳಿ ಒಳಗೆ ಯಾರನ್ನ ಕೇಳ್ತೀರಿ, ಅವರು ಉಪೇಂದ್ರನ ಸಿನಿಮಾ ನೋಡಿ ಬಂದೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ. ಯಾಕಂದ್ರೆ ಅವರಿಗೆ ನಾನು ಬುದ್ಧಿವಂತ ಅಂತ ಪ್ರೂವ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕಾಗಿರ್ತದೆ. ಸೊ ಇನ್ ದ ಸೇಮ್ ಮ್ಯಾನರ್, Roof is trying to convince the people to cast their votes in favor of PAP. So he said, the one bearing the sign of a motor car, it is the box where you have to concentrate and where you have to cast your votes, and don't look at the other box which is having the sign of a man's head. This is for those whose heads are not correct. Okay. This was greeted with loud laughter. So everybody began to laugh. And Roof cast a quick and busy like glance towards the minister and received a smile of appreciation. So when Roof did this trick, the people were happy. There was a loud laughter amongst the people, and when the people were happy by the words of Roof just looked at his master, Marcus eBay, and he received an appreciating smile. Vote for the car, he shouted, all the veins in his neck standing out. Vote for the car and you will ride in it. So now, he was trying to cheer the people, the public, to cast their votes in favor of PAP. So now Roof said, vote for the car. And he didn't mean to say only vote for the car. If you vote in favor of the car, you will have a chance to ride in it. So that goes to show he is promising them a better future. They can have their own car, they can ride in it if they elect Marcus eBay. Or if we don't, our children will pipe to the same sharp old girl. So the woman who recognized the car, the same old lady, she said, if we don't ride, never mind, our children will ride in the car. They will have a ride in the car. The band struck up a new number, why walk when you can ride? So now the band which was placed at a distant place, now they began to sing a new song, and the song was, why to walk when you can ride? So when you have a chance to ride the car by electing Marcus eBay, this is the assurance like all the candidates. Even he was giving assurance on behalf of Marcus eBay that if you cast your vote in favor of Marcus eBay, you will have a better future. A future like you can have your own car and you can ride in it. Definitely. In spite of his apparent calm and confidence, Chief the Honorable Marcus was a relentless stickler for a detail. So even though he seemed to be calm, but definitely this is a tense situation for Marcus eBay, and he was a relentless stickler for detail. ಸಾಮಾನ್ಯವಾಗಿ ಎದೆಗುದಿ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ ನಾವು. ಒಂದು ರೀತಿಯ ಭಯ, ಉದ್ವೇಗ, ಅಂಥ ಎಲ್ಲ ಕ್ಷಣಗಳು ಕೂಡ ಈ ಚುನಾವಣೆಯ ಮತದಾನದ ಸಂದರ್ಭದಲ್ಲಿ ಮತ್ತು ಫಲಿತಾಂಶದ ಸಂದರ್ಭದಲ್ಲಿ ಎಲ್ಲ ಪ್ರತಿಸ್ಪರ್ಧಿಗಳಿಗೂ ಇದ್ದೇ ಇರ್ತದೆ. He knew he would win what the newspapers called a landslide victory, but did not wish even so to throw away a single vote. So Marcus eBay knew that he will have a landslide victory, marginal victory. He is going to win the elections by huge margin. But definitely he did not wish to lose even a single vote. With a huge margin, he wanted to win over the opposition candidate. So, as soon as the first rush of voters was over, he promptly asked his campaign boys to go one at a time and put in their ballot papers. So, like earlier, there were ballot papers and they were bearing the name of all the candidates, and they were bearing all the symbols of parties, symbols of all the particular parties. By the time the voter gets inside, he would be given a ballot paper, and he was supposed to be given a seal. Now the person who is voting in favor of a particular party, he has to put the seal in front of the name of the candidate and the sign. And definitely after folding the paper, he was supposed to cast the paper in the relevant box. So now, after everybody casted their votes, now Roof asked his assistants to go one by one and cast their votes. Roof, you had better go first, he said. So now when Roof asked everybody to go one by one and cast their vote, Marcus eBay said, he asked Roof to go at first and cast his vote. And why he might have said? Because he was very loyal to Marcus eBay. Might be he is considered as a lucky person, and maybe a few other reasons, for which Marcus eBay said, better you go first and cast your vote and let the others follow you. Roof's spirits fell, but he let no one see it. All morning he had masked his deep worry with a surface exertion, which was unusual even for him. So he was totally tensed. Even though he was tense, but he did not show it. He was hiding all the tensions that he had since morning. Now he dashed off in a springy fashion towards the booth. So springy action, like how the quick spring action takes place. So like the spring, he moved towards the booth, the voting booth. A policeman at the entrance searched him for illegal ballot papers and passed him. So this is the process during the election time. The policeman totally checked him. And when he checked him, when he could not find any piece of paper, because in the olden times when the voters were given ballot papers inside the polling booth, some people carried the fake or the duplicate ballot papers inside the booth. They would go inside and put the seal and put inside the box. So this is how false voting was taking place in the olden times. Now there is no chance of such voting because there are machines nowadays. But even though there are machines, they are man-made and they are handled by men only. And thus, even now also, the fake voting takes place. Okay. A policeman at the entrance searched for him for illegal ballot papers and passed him. So now the policeman entirely checked him, and when he could not find any paper with him, he passed him. Then the electoral officer explained to him about two boxes. Just now I have said the two boxes, one belonged to PAP and the other was belonging to POP. Okay. The electoral officer explained to him about the two boxes. By this time, the spring had gone clean out of his walk. So, the speed in which he rushed inside the polling booth, now that rush was not there. He was inside the polling booth, he was calm and quiet. The electorate official explained him about the two boxes, one belonging to the PAP, that's with the car, one belonged to the POP, that's with the man's head. Definitely, it is the duty of the electorate officer to explain about both the boxes, whereas it was not needed for Roof because he was a follower of Marcus eBay. Okay. By this time, the spring had gone clean out of his walk. He sidled in and was confronted by the car and the head. He got inside. Now he was a bit confused. Whether to vote for the car or for the man's head. Whether to cast his vote in favor of PAP, that is for Marcus eBay, or like he had promised earlier on the E, that he would vote in favor of Madhuka. He was a bit confused. Okay. He brought out his ballot paper from his pocket and looked at it. So now, with all the confusion, he took out his ballot paper and looked at it. It was bearing the name of, maybe the name, may not be, because in the olden times, a ballot paper was a blank paper in which they were supposed to put the seal, fold it and put it in any one of the box to whom they wanted to cast their vote in favor of. But now, he brought out his ballot paper from his pocket and looked at it. How could he betray Marcus even in secret? Marcus eBay ಅವನ ಎದುರುಗಡೆ ಇಲ್ಲ, ಆದರೂ ಕೂಡ ತನ್ನನ್ನು ನಂಬಿರುವಂಥ ಮಾಲೀಕನಿಗೆ ಯಾವ ರೀತಿಯಾಗಿ ಮೋಸ ಮಾಡ್ತಾನೆ? ಸಾಧ್ಯ ಇಲ್ಲ ಅನ್ನುವಂಥ ಮಾತು. He resolved to go back to the other man and return his 5 pounds. So now he thought that I can never betray the person who had faith in me. So now he thought, let me go back and give those 5 pounds back to the man. That's the opposition candidate. Other man, and return his 5 pounds. 5 pounds? But it was a question of 5 pounds. It was a lot of money in the olden times. ₹1, ₹2, ₹100 ಆದರೆ ವಾಪಸ್ ಬಿಸಾಕಿ ಇಲ್ಲ ನಾನು ನನ್ನ ಮಾಲೀಕನಿಗೆ ವೋಟ್ ಹಾಕೋದು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ಬೋದು. ಆದರೆ ತಿಳ್ಕೊಡ್ರಿ, ಒಂದು 10 ಲಕ್ಷ ಯಾರು ಕೊಡ್ತಾರೆ ಪುಕ್ಸಟ್ಟೆ? ಅಷ್ಟು ದುಡ್ಡನ್ನು ತಿರುಗಿ ಕೊಟ್ಟು ವೋಟ್ ಹಾಕದೇ ಇರೋದು ಮೂರ್ಖತನ ಆಗ್ತದೆ. So now he thought 5 pounds. So on one side he has a loyalty towards his master, and on the other hand it was a question of 5 pounds. He knew at once it was impossible. So returning 5 pounds is not that possible. He knew that it's going to be impossible to return such a huge amount to the opposition campaigning team leader or the candidate. ಒಂದು ದೊಡ್ಡ ಮೊತ್ತವನ್ನು ಬರೀ ಒಂದು ಓಟಿಗಾಗಿ ತಿರುಗಿ ಕೊಡೋದು ಅಸಾಧ್ಯ ಅಂತ ಅನ್ನಿಸ್ತು. This shows the greed of human beings for money. Once it was impossible. He had sworn on that E. He had one more problem. He had sworn on a E. ಆ ಈ ಮೇಲೆ ಆಣೆ ಮಾಡಿ ಹೇಳಿದ್ದ ಆತ, ನನ್ನ ಓಟು ಮಧುಕಾಗೆ ಅಂತ. ಸೊ if he does not cast his vote in favor of Madhuka, definitely he has to wait for a disaster to happen in his life. ನನ್ನ ಜೀವನದಲ್ಲಿ ಏನಾದರೂ ಕೆಟ್ಟದ್ದು ಪರಿಣಮಿಸಬಹುದು, ಕೆಟ್ಟ ಘಟನೆ ನಡೆಯಬಹುದು ಅನ್ನುವಂಥ ಒಂದು ಆತಂಕ ಯಾವನಿಗಾದರೂ ಇದ್ದೇ ಇರ್ತದೆ. ಓಕೆ. He knew at once it was impossible. He had sworn on that E. The notes were read, the cocoa farmer busy at work. So you see, he was attracted by the money. He was mesmerized by the money. He was attracted by the color of the money. He was attracted by the cocoa farmer harvesting the crop. So you see, all this made the man Roof think twice before he could reject the money. At this point, he heard the muffled voice of the policeman asking the electorate officer what the man was doing outside. Abhi na pikim de, bor. So now, the policeman asked him that, why so late? What you are doing in? As you are supposed to know, you are not supposed to spend a lot of time inside the polling booth. When the policeman said, policeman asking the electoral officer what the man was doing inside. So you see, as he was spending a lot of time in thinking whether to cast his vote for PAP or for POP, whether to cast the vote for Madhuka or in favor of Marcus eBay, the electoral officer was asked by the policeman what this man is doing in the polling booth for such a long time. So there might be some misuse or mishappening inside the polling booth. So now then, quick as a lightning, a thought leapt into Rufe's mind. He folded the paper, tore it in two along the crease and put one half in each box. So quick as a lightning, ಕ್ಷಣಾರ್ಧದಲ್ಲಿ ಮಿಂಚಿನಂತೆ ಒಂದು ಉಪಾಯ ಹೊಳೆಯಿತು, ಒಂದು ಯೋಚನೆ ಹೊಳೆಯಿತು ಆತನ ತಲೆಗೆ. What he did? He took out the ballot paper, folded it along the crease. ಎಲ್ಲಿ ಫೋಲ್ಡ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೋ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಏನು ಗೆರೆ ಬೀಳ್ತದೋ ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಕ್ರೀಸ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ. So along the crease he tore it. Now do you think the vote is valid? Definitely not. If you tear the ballot paper, okay, it won't be considered. But he did that. Tore it in two along the crease and put one half each in the box. So he tore it along the crease. Ballot paper ಅನ್ನು ಫೋಲ್ಡ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಎರಡು ಭಾಗ ಮಾಡಿದ, and he put one half in the box of PAP and he put the other half in the box of POP. That's it. Okay? Do you think this vote is valid? Not at all. But as he had promised that he would cast his paper for Madhuka, he was cast his vote for Madhuka, he did it. That's it. Never mind, he didn't say that he is going to cast his full vote to the candidate, Madhuka. So, he took the precaution of putting the first half into Madhuka's box. So, he not only tore the paper along the crease, he not only put half to PAP and half to POP box, but he put his first half in the box that belonged to POP. Okay? And he also said, he took the precaution of putting the first half into Madhuka's box and confirming the action verbally, I vote for Madhuka. He also confirmed his action of voting, okay, in favor of Madhuka. ಈ ಬಾಕ್ಸ್ನೊಳಗೆ ತನ್ನ ಮತಪತ್ರವನ್ನು ಹಾಕಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ ಆತ ಹೇಳಿದ, ನನ್ನ ಮತ ಮಧುಕನಿಗೆ. That goes to show he had fulfilled the promise of casting his vote in favor of Madhuka. They marked his thumb with indelible purple ink to prevent his return. ಸಾಮಾನ್ಯವಾಗಿ ತಿರ್ಗಾ ಮತ್ತೆ ಬರಬಾರದು ಮತವನ್ನು ಹಾಕಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಅನ್ನುವಂಥ ಉದ್ದೇಶದಿಂದ ಚುನಾವಣಾ ಸಮಿತಿಯವರು ಒಂದು ಸ್ಯಾಹಿಯ ಗುರುತನ್ನು ಪ್ರತಿಯೊಬ್ಬ ಮತದಾರನ ಬೆರಳಿಗೆ ಹಚ್ಚುತ್ತಾರೆ. So that indelible purple ink, that goes to show, which cannot be erased from the finger immediately. They marked his thumb with indelible purple ink to prevent his return, and he went out of the booth as jauntily as he had gone in. So as he rushed inside the booth, okay, with all the spirit, with all the enthusiasm, with all the relief, he came back from the polling booth. So now, what he did? Did he cheat his master? No. Because if he would have put complete vote to Madhuka, it would have been +1 for Madhuka. Okay, 1 vote less for Marcus eBay, but he did not do so. Fine. He just folded the paper, tore it along the crease and put 1/2 each in both the boxes, the first one in the box of Madhuka. So, he came out of a situation of dilemma. He came out of the situation of confusion. ಒಂದು ರೀತಿಯ ಗೊಂದಲಮಯ ಪರಿಸ್ಥಿತಿ. ವೋಟ್ ಹಾಕಿದ್ರೆ ತನ್ನ ಮಾಲೀಕನಿಗೆ ಅನ್ಯಾಯ ಮಾಡಿದಂಗೆ ಆಗ್ತಿತ್ತು, ಇವನಿಗೆ ವೋಟ್ ಹಾಕದೆ ಹೋದರೆ ಪ್ರತಿಜ್ಞೆಯ ಪ್ರಮಾಣವನ್ನು ಮುರಿದಂಗೆ ಆಗ್ತಿತ್ತು. ಸೊ ಈ ರೀತಿಯಾಗಿ ಆತ ತನ್ನ ಪ್ರತಿಜ್ಞೆ ಮಾಡಿದಂಥ ಮಾತನ್ನು ಕೂಡ ಉಳಿಸ್ಕೊಂಡ, ತನ್ನ ಮಾಲೀಕನಿಗೂ ಕೂಡ ವಿಧೇಯಕನಾಗಿ ಉಳಿಯುವಂಥ ಅವಕಾಶ ಕೂಡ ಆತನಿಗೆ ಬಂತು. ಸೊ in our life, so many of such situations arise. We come across such a circumstance in our lifetime, and definitely how we deal with, that's what matters. And this lesson, voter, is not just a voter. Definitely it reveals us the different kind of situations that a man comes across his life. So this is the lesson called The Voter by Chinua Achebe, and with this we come to the conclusion of the 12th concept, that is the voter. Thank you.